I want to do a quick compare and contrast between Stax and Stripe, but I want to focus on the fees, not just on the modules, not just on the functionality, but the fees. So this will be Stax fees versus Stripe fees. Okay, big question is which fees are actually lower, which fees are better for you. So let me first start with talking about what Stripe has to offer. So a lot of entrepreneurs hear about Stripe. People hear about the fact that Stripe is transparent. People hear about people love the fact that Stripe is actually a pretty efficient, right? So is that true? Yes, I would say overall this is true. And Stripe has been around for more than 15 years now. So the company actually launched in 2011. Okay, 2011, and for the last 15 years, they have been actually working. They've been really preeminent. And so Stripe actually offers a software platform best suited for running an internet-based business. So if your business is more digitally oriented, you might want to think about Stripe instead of Stax or instead of PayPal, for instance. Okay, so while the company boasts billions of dollars a year in transactions, its primary focus is actually businesses that transact online or via mobile apps. So if you have a brick and mortar, let's say a store, Stripe might not be the best credit card processor for you. So Stripe pricing offers a pay-as-you-go model, which includes a 2.9% flat rate plus 30 cents. So they have 30 cents per swipe in their basic package. So again, 2.9% flat rate and a 30-cent transaction fee per swipe in their basic package. There are actually several other Stripe payment fees that come into play when you add various add-ons and other services. This only applies to basic transactions using a debit or a credit card. So if your customers, for instance, choose to pay using anything else, there are additional fees that could actually cost you, right? It's all about the type of customers you have. Let me give you an example. Stripe ACH fees for checks can accrue fees up to $7 per payment. Okay, so this is something to really think about from a flexibility point of view. So you have a clear idea how much they're charging you. So and what I want to say here is that if you go with Stripe, it's all about flexibility. It's all about transparency, but most importantly, it's all about scalability for digital businesses primarily. So let me give you a quick summary of Stripe processing fees. I want to go more granular so you have a clear idea. Let me talk about the pros and cons so you can see whether or not when it comes to Stax fees versus Stripe fees, Stripe is actually better or not. Okay, so what are the pros here? If you think about Stripe, you have quick payment processing, you have fraud and security protection tools. I mean, Stripe has one of the most secure payment protocols in the industry. Okay, and you also have online and mobile dashboard. Again, if you have a brick and mortar store and you want to use Stripe, things could be a little complicated for you. But if you have a business that's primarily based on the internet or mobile, Stripe can be really suitable for you. Okay, so this is a non-exhaustive list of all the pros that comes with Stripe, all the pros that come with Stripe. What about the cons? Well, with Stripe, there is no chargeback assistance. Unfortunately, this is something they're working on. They're working on fixing that, but right now, they still don't have chargeback assistance. So if you have chargebacks, you are on your own, and especially if you are in a high risk, quote unquote, high risk industry with a large potential for chargebacks. This could eat into your revenue. And also with Stripe, you have primarily email customer service. Same day funding is not available. Okay, so if you want your cash real fast, you're not gonna get that through Stripe. And so the 2.9% flat rate plus 30 cents per transaction. This is actually based on our analysis, typically 40 to 45% more expensive than subscription based processors. Okay, and there are additional charges and Stripe fees added depending on the specific transactions you have. And also, and I want to insist on that, developer work is needed for the integration in most cases. Okay, so as you can see, Stripe processing fees cost you over $100 to $200 more per month than if you processed with other, let's say, other credit card processors, depending on the industry you're in. So it's all about the industry you're in too. I want to go a little more granular here. The thing is that if you are thinking about, so this is actually for Stripe, right? Stripe, I explained to you now. I want to talk to you now about Stax. If you think about Stax, the thing about Stax is that I love the fact that you don't have to be your business doesn't have to be internet based primarily. So you can have an online store, but you can also have a brick and mortar store. You can have any kind of store actually. Okay, so this is kind of cool. Now the only difference with I mean the only one of the major differences between Stax and Stripe is that Stax is a subscription based. So they are charging you every month a certain amount. Okay, so whether you use the platform or not, you still have to pay. Stripe is different. Stripe doesn't charge you a subscription. You pay as you go. You pay based on the transaction volume. With Stripe, with Stax, the transaction volume is important because Stax is charging you a subscription fee, but also charging you a transaction fee. Now, their transaction fee is lower. I will explain that to you later on. Their transaction fee is lower. It's not 30%. It's not 2.9. I'm sorry. It's not 2.9%. It's totally different. Okay. So Stax remains a subscription-based integrated payment provider with total transparency built into its model. Okay. So the cool thing is that all businesses have access to direct cost payment processing with 0% markups, no contracts, and no hidden fees. So in terms of transparency, you will love that. I mean, you'll love that with Stax because they're pretty upfront with you in terms of their pricing. And so basically, whenever you call, customer service is kind of cool too. Whenever you call in with a question, issue, or just a chat. A real person answers the phone every time. So there are no automated calls. And so this is really good because you don't have to just handle customer service questions over the phone or let's say or via email. Okay, so you're able to speak to someone, you're able to have a conversation with a live person. So if you are in, you can say that Stacks what you're really looking for in your credit card processing company. So as you can see on the screen here, Stacks actually is charging you $99 per month. That's the starting subscription price, okay, every single month. And you can see that basically subscription prices are determined by processing volume, okay, and do not include cents per transaction. So as you can see on the screen here, you have processing up to $150,000 per year, 150 to 250K, and more than 250K a year. You are being charged. You've been charged nearly $200. Now the thing is that this kind of pricing model can appeal to certain entrepreneurs. Okay, especially if you are not sure like if you are in a certain industry and you don't know what kind of sales volume you are gonna generate. Stacks gives you the flexibility, but Stacks also gives you the peace of mind because at least you know if you're paying $99 a month, for instance, you know this is a given, right? This is a given. This is a fixed amount that you can really you can really think about and you can really budget. Okay, so you have some kind of certainty from the get go. Now that certainty fluctuates, that's for sure, but at least you have an idea of what your cost could be. Okay, so the cool thing about the Stacks is that the way they have the subscription model really introduces several benefits compared to Stripe. For instance, there is no contract. Of course, Stripe also does not require to have a contract. With Stax, there is a 0% markup. There are no hidden fees. There is a quick setup, so that's really good from a flexibility point of view. You have recurrent billing, so recurrent billing is kind of cool. You have easy to read statements, so they actually make sure their statements are user friendly. So the pricing is just the one aspect of the transparency I'm talking about. Okay, you have live US based customer service. Okay, and you also have a flat monthly subscription. You are able to save 40 to 50% versus traditional processors. You have next day funding for approved businesses. This is something that Stripe doesn't offer, but Stax does offer that. So next day funding for approved businesses, POS, e-commerce, mobile, and virtual terminal solutions. And also, Stax can integrate with most already established POS systems. So this is really good. So let me give you a quick facts about Stax and Stripe. So if you think about Stax fees versus Stripe fees, you need to understand that Stripe remains primarily an online payment service that is popular with internet-based businesses, while Stax is a subscription-based integrated payment provider. So you can see that right off the bat, the business model for those two companies is different. So that business model, that difference in business model is reflected in their pricing. Okay, so Stripe focuses on, let's say, internet-based businesses, while Stax has a subscription-based integrated payment provider. Okay, now the two deliver in-person and online payment methods to both small and large companies, but they actually differ in functionality and pricing model. So big question is, what kind of pricing model is actually better for you? You have to ask yourself, do you like the subscription model that Stax has, or do you like the pay-as-you-go model that basically Stripe has? Okay, so if you think about Stripe, the pricing model is pretty straightforward. This is a pay-as-you-go model, which includes a 2.9% flat rate and a 30-cent transaction fee per swipe in their basic package. Okay, but this is the basic package. Okay, you do have additional fees that could actually increase your cost depending on the fees that you depending on the sector that you're in, but also depending on the transaction volume that you actually are processing. Okay, like you have, I think, like I said before, you have ACH fees for checks. Okay, you also have there are some transactions also that require additional fees. So that's for Stripe. What about Stax? Stax is just all about subscription. You pay a certain amount every single month, depending on your transaction volume, and that's it. There's nothing else. Everything is clear from the get-go, right? And you're able to get things done like real fast. Okay, especially when it comes to having clarity, having peace of mind in terms of pricing. Stax is a little slight. Stax has a slight edge over Stripe in that department. So if you think about Stax fees versus Stripe fees, you need to understand that what Stripe is charging you has to deal with the kind of additional services they're offering. Because of course you have the basic services, you have the foundation, but you have additional services. So Stripe offers services such as quick payment processing, fraud and security protection tools, and an online and mobile dashboard. So the online and mobile dashboard is actually pretty good because, like, let me give you an example. During COVID, a lot of businesses that were primarily internet based were still making money, whereas brick and mortar stores all of a sudden had their revenue come to a halt, right? So, if you are based primarily on the internet, this has its advantages, but also disadvantages. I mean, so this is kind of cool. So Stripe actually does facilitate that kind of quick payment processing. Okay, for for online businesses. The only thing that I actually don't like is that with Stripe, you don't have chargeback assistance, okay? And so this is something that could be a little detrimental for certain industries. I mean, I'm not even talking about the fact that Stripe offers primarily email customer service. Like if you want to talk to somebody on the phone with Stripe, you are going to wait for a long time. They don't have that kind of service, okay? And they still don't provide same day funding. They're working on it, I've heard, but they still don't provide that, okay? Same day service. And also, one thing I want to say also is that in terms of if you were to compare head on Stax and Stripe, basically, let me give you a simulated scenario. Stripe processing fees could cost your business over 120 to $200 more per month than if it is processed with Stax, especially when it comes to flexibility. Now, okay, let me go a little further. The thing is that because Stax has a subscription based model, you have clarity. So what happens is that as long as your transaction volume is below the threshold that they have, you are good to go, right? You are safe. Now, if the transaction volume goes above that threshold, that's when you have to really step into the next tier. But at least you know in advance, okay? That's something that's really cool. So if you think about Stacks fees versus Stripe fees, you have to understand that the fees are one thing, right? But you also have the add-ons, and add-ons sometimes they sometimes arise because you might need to think about integration. So Stacks can integrate with your existing POS system. Okay, the tool can actually integrate with most already established POS systems, so that your business can continue using the systems it is familiar with while benefiting from other Stacks payment processing service. Okay, now same thing with Stripe though. I mean, Stripe can also integrate with existing systems, and but the thing is that Stripe actually doesn't have the native integration. Basically, you need to really set up your integration via API, application programming interface. Okay, so this is why I was just telling you that with Stripe, you might need to have some web developer expertise, which is actually an added cost. This is extra cost, okay, and but you don't have that with Stacks. Stacks doesn't require. Stacks has most of the time native integration, so the integration is already there, okay. So basically, you are able to start running Stacks right off the bat. So one thing I want to say here is that sorry, let me drink some water here. Thank you. So what I'm trying to say is that when it comes to Stacks fees versus Stripe fees, as long as your company actually is in the right niche, and I will explain why I'm saying right niche. If your company actually, for instance, if your company is not an internet-based business primarily, then there is no competition, right? You can just go to Stacks. If your company is actually doing something is based on the internet, like primarily geared toward digital platforms, then you can say, okay, should I go with Stacks or should I go with Stripe? And this will depend on the kind of convenience you're looking for. This will depend. That choosing one of those two will depend on the type of business you run, but also the type of revenue you generate, the type of customers you have, how they pay you, the amount of transaction volume you generate every single month. Okay, so if you're looking for a Stacks fees versus Stripe fees, I cannot tell you, oh, Stacks is better than Stripe or the other way around. It all depends on all the factors that I just listed for you. As a recap into this conversation, I spoke to you about Stack fees versus Stripe fees. Okay, I explained to you like in detail what each company has to offer. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.